Aotearoa, welcome whānau to the War on News, your weekly sacred cow slaughtering assault on current affairs, being live from the Place Australia's news bunker, very deep beneath the heart of the Great Island Republic. If this show was the rugby union announcing they can't be in the next World Cup because they're broke after we've blown all this cash on this World Cup, the reaction would be a little like this. In tonight's political media crimes against reason kill zone, a drowning brash will clutch at joints. 200,000 under 30-year-olds don't give a fuck and aren't enrolled to vote. What a surprise. Stephen Joyce tells university students that he'll grind their bones to make his bread. Plus the week's Sex in the Super City and the Wacko of the Week award. Leading the War on News this week, brothers and sisters, our gormless Optimus Prime has done it again. In the wake of the Pike River tragedy, he's making tasteless coal mine bets with the Australian Prime Minister. It's not the first time he's shown the vacant unawareness of a methadone patient. Remember when he made the international press headlines with his hilarious thigh-slapping country club good old boy Maori cannibalism jokes? When it comes to race relations comedy, John Keir's like a white Chris Rock, minus the humour, intelligence, grace, appreciation of historical injustice, and dress sense. Then there was his cringe-worthy impersonation of gay mincing on the catwalk, and let's not forget his recent attacking of critics of Party Central during the Rugby World Cup opening ceremony 30 minutes before downtown Auckland became a public safety hazard. John Keir's humour is as amusing as a tumour. Personally, his claim this week that marijuana is a gateway drug was my high point of hilarity. A gateway drug to what? Domino's Pizza? For Keir to attempt the moral high ground on marijuana while backing down on any meaningful alcohol reform is about as credible as his sad dad jokes are funny. Brothers and sisters, a South African journalist here to cover the Rugby World Cup alleges he was racially profiled and searched by racist New Zealand cops in Taupo after they alleged he was selling drugs in a bar he had just entered. Police claim someone told them Vata No Benny was dealing drugs in a toilet and that was good enough for them. Plus he looked like a gangster rapper and they all have drugs. Vata is lucky he wasn't arrested for being black in a built-up urban area after sunset, because when the New Zealand police aren't pointlessly strip searching those they racially profile as drug dealers, they're arresting Tiki Tane for singing songs they don't like and illegally spying on so-called terrorists. The New Zealand police, they're cool if you're white. Brothers and sisters, John Keir's vacant optimism has reached new heights of delusion. As the global economy collapses because of the venal corporate greed that melted down share markets in 2008, John Keir can see nothing but rainbows and unicorns bouncing along under golden skies raining pink cupcakes. He refuses to readjust Treasury predictions for the economy and refuses to hear anything negative about the impending collapse of the free market system he so adores. He's a wide-eyed little ray of sunshine in a multi-millionaire bubble world divorced from the realities of life. Whānau, if I had a Hawaiian mansion and $50 million in the bank, I'd be pretty bloody optimistic as well. But I'm just not sure don't worry, be happy can be an actual economic policy. John Keir is so optimistic you could throw a glass of water at him and he'd still claim it was half full. That's great if you're a party boy millionaire, not so great if you're in denial and leading a country. To the headlines, whānau. So things are so bad inside ACT now. Don is trying to appeal to stoners? Whānau, there isn't enough marijuana on Mother Earth that could make me vote ACT. ACT stopped being a party with principles a long time ago. Now it is a redneck talk-hate radio knee-jerk party who only recently was squabbling over how racist their Bribe a Tribe newspaper adverts could be, with John Ansell walking off in a huff calling the party white cowards for not cross-burning. Brash was supposed to get ACT over 10%. That's why he implemented the corporate coup that overthrew Hyde in the first place. However, ACT have misplaced their own racism as everyone's racism, and instead of focusing on the economy, went back to the exact same redneck populist hate that Hyde embodied. That redneck hate has failed appallingly to harvest supporters the same way open membership of the KKK at Otara markets would fail. Don's latest attempt to repaint himself by clutching at joints is terribly misplaced because there are no longer any principled supporters of the party left, and the uptight voters of Epsom, while desperately needing a joint, won't look to John Banks of all people as their new tambourine man. Pass the duchy to the right-hand side just doesn't have the same appeal, does it? Although, seeing the way Active treated all their female MPs, No Woman, No Cry could certainly be their new anthem. To the headlines, whānau. Is there any surprise that 200,000 under 30-year-olds aren't enrolled to vote? Why would they? The cynicism towards politics is legitimate. When the sleepy hobbits of New Zealand can flock to a multi-millionaire money trader with the sort of hope evangelical Christians have for the rapture, who wouldn't be cynical? When the mainstream media spend more time on happy bloody feet than us losing jury trials, who wouldn't be disenfranchised and disconnected? We have one of the highest youth suicide rates in the OECD, terrible investment in young people, high teenage pregnancy rates, and selfishness sold as a virtue. That the next generation have become consumers and not citizens should surprise no one. Want to lift the participation rates of young people in our democracy? Lower the voting age to 16 alongside a citizenship curriculum in schools. Rather than blame young people for boy racing, music piracy and every alcohol problem under the sun, how about empower them with their rights as citizens at an early age so the roots of democracy are protected rather than withering and dying? Moving on with the headlines, whānau. Stephen Joyce tells university students that he'll grind their bones to make his bread. The troll under the National Party bridge, Education Minister and human flesh devourer Stephen Joyce, threatened university students to keep their heads down as a raft of protests erupt across the country. Joyce points out that fees are 75% subsidised, and as such, uni students should shut up. What Stephen conveniently ignores is that he receives his education for free. That was a 100% subsidy. How dare this baby boomer lecture Gen Y with "you don't know how lucky you are" when the sanctimonious clown got his education for free. Stephen Joyce is threatening to do to uni students what he's doing to Len Brown's electrified rail loop, underfund them and bury them in motorway concrete. Whānau, are you feeling sexy? It's Sex in the Super City time. The reporter to the Rugby World Cup transport fiasco is in and finds no one is to blame, which is a little different from John Key's position, which is that after spending 3 years telling New Zealanders to come to Party Central, 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 when everyone came to Party Central, it all became Len Brown's fault. Seeing as Key ran through the Super City under urgency and appointed all the transport and waterfront boards, he and his government are to blame for the fiasco, especially after they were told 20 months ago that the transport system couldn't cope. Luckily for Key, however, this whitewashed report finds no one is to blame, which, when you consider the train company weren't even asked to put on extra trains on opening night, seems a little more like criminal negligence than simply oversight. Seeing as Auckland now has one of the worst air pollution rates in Australasia, a well-resourced public transport system is necessary not just to avoid Rugby World Cup embarrassments, but also to stop the 730 unnecessary air pollution deaths per year. Spending $13 billion on pointless motorways won't lower our air pollution, it will exacerbate them. So much for clean and green. Whānau, let's finish the show by handing out this week's Wanko of the Week award. This week's Wanko of the Week, brothers and sisters, has to go to the despicable way the government are rushing the new spying powers for the police through Parliament with a pretense of a select committee process for a bill few have even read. Police Minister Judith Collins told the media that 229 New Zealanders are currently being secretly spied on, and this justifies the ramming of these powers through. Seeing as the Urewera case has been a major embarrassment and flop, how on earth can that cock-up be a justification for a spying practice by the police that is illegal? Remember, we're talking about enabling the police to break into your homes and plant spy cameras with the barest of judicial oversight. This is not how a democracy functions. This is how a police state functions. You have all bought the lie that this is aimed at the gangs. For the purpose of this bill, the definition of a gang is 3 people who know each other. These powers will be used on all of us. For a country that shat its pants over power-saving light bulbs and water-saving shower heads, to grant the state the power to spy on you in your own homes is nanny state on steroids. Yet you all accept it because John Key's smile and wave pacifies you. New Zealand's sad worship of cop authority, minus any fucking safeguards whatsoever, deserves all the contempt 3 people can muster. If Helen Clark had ever tried to pull this shit, the New Zealand Herald would be calling on readers to burn her electoral office to the ground. Welcome to the New Zealand crypto police state. Sleepy hobbits reap what they sow. That's it for tonight, folks. Don't forget Citizen A plays Friday, 8 p.m. Freeview 21 and Sky 89. Follow me on my Citizen Bomber Twitter and Facebook site. It has all the shows posted up online and allows you to befriend other like-minded citizens for romantic news moments. Good night, New Zealand. You stay classy, Aotearoa. Righto.